Dr. Aisha Nazo, and I am a statistician. I would like to introduce myself that earlier on from our YouTube channel Rao Hub, we have been covering the genre of humor. But now we are going to talk about a serious genre as well. Let me just first introduce myself, and then you'll get to know that what we are going to cover in the video. Okay, so I'm Dr. Aisha Nazo, as I said, and I often say in my classes that only my name is Nazuk, I am not. So those who can't comprehend Urdu cannot understand that Nazuk maybe means a delicate or an intricate creature. So just for a sense of humor, I tell to my students when I go in the class, your professor, only the surname is Nazuk, actually I am not. Okay, so I am a statistician. I have done PhD in statistics, and that's why I work in a university as an assistant professor of statistics. Before these videos, you have seen me in different role switch, and that pseudonym of my YouTube humor genre is Ranghri Baji. I'll say again so that you understand. Ranghri Baji. If you transliterate this into English, this is a respectable lady who speaks Rajputi. And Rajputi is a language. Those of you who are listening to this word for the first time, let me tell you, this dialect is related to Rajasthani language, which is spoken predominantly in India. Or this is also linked to Bhojpuri or Haryanvi. So you can explore about that more, or maybe we cover in our more videos about the background of the Rajputi language. Okay, so a quick recap. Here in front of you, a statistician is standing who believe in the supremacy of data. And I often say to my students that the biggest data generating units are we, the human being themselves. This brain is actually a cryptographic version of understanding the entire universe. So why would you expect a statistician, converging into a role switch of Ranghri Baji? So I'm blessed to have a good sense of humor, which I blend in my lecture. Statistics, which is otherwise sometimes people perceive it to be a very boring and dry subject. So humor has given me a very advantage and an edge that I can involve all my students. Even if I'm teaching statistics to social sciences, I can easily connect. So why am I mentioning this? Humor is a universal task skill. So if you have to connect with human beings, you can use humor. So as I said, the biggest data generating unit is here, we, the human being. So to understand universe, first you have to understand human being. And for that, humor could be used. By the way, universe has a good sense of humor. For example, you must have listened to the story of the magnetic field of Medina, or the magnetic hill of Medina. Like those of you who have visited there, if you go there, even uphill you are going and your car is being slided backward. And some of the locals and visitors who haven't had the idea of the magnetic field, and before it was unveiled what is the secret behind this hill, people used to call it Wadi-e-Jinn, like the valley of the supernaturals. So why am I mentioning it here? Seemingly magnetic hill. What it has to do with humor? I'm just telling you that universe has something in cryptographic versions, and to decipher that cryptography, maybe you have to think creatively, out of the box. That is why if you see geniuses like Stephen Hawking, those of you who follow him, Stephen Hawking, he had a good sense of humor. So you never know, this was the reason that he survived a very challenging motor neuron disease. So up till now, this video has covered importance of humor. This video has covered importance of human brain, cryptography, understanding human beings to understand the universe. So, okay, so continuing from our discussion, what were the brief pointers so that you remain focused while listening to the videos? It was about my introduction as a statistician. It was about importance of human being as the biggest data generating unit in the universe. Understand universe, you have to understand the human being. So, I'll be covering in this set of featured videos, I'll try to explain my journey of understanding human beings. I'll try to explain different things that I have learned through different, you could say, scholarly pursuits. So, this particular video is about understanding the concept of response time. So, what is response time? Okay, let me tell you through a practical illustration, okay? Here I am, you're standing here and I'm like, hey, there's a problem here. And you'll be like, oh, what the hell? Even if you're a children, an adult, or whatsoever, your first response will be, what happened? Because I haven't given you any response time. Or you can compare it like you're sitting in the room and there's a sudden knock on the door. And I will, in this particular, I use the knocking sound of my mother tongue. And it's like, dar, 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 dar. Or, so, it's like I haven't given you enough response time to react to it. So, if you have to, handle any situation, so you have to understand that to respond well to different situations, maybe your brain will take a little bit of amount of time to respond to those changes. And when you understand this, that your brain is going to consume a particular amount of time before it could take important decisions, then you will give these discounts to others as well. Even if you are a parent and your child is using maybe smartphone and you want to tell him that this is enough. So maybe you could announce that there are 5 minutes left. So he's getting mentally ready that after 5 minutes, my time will start finishing. So, compare two scenarios. Children are sitting, they are using smartphones. And you go there and like, stop using it. And they'll be like, okay. Or maybe the response will not be very friendly. It depends upon your equation. Maybe they yell back at you, you never know. But if you give them a sort of an announcement, or even if before a sudden announcement, if they are aware that there are certain rules of using this smartphone, and you have told them in advance that there will be a first call, a second call, and after the third call, mommy will be a monster if you don't leave the smartphone. So compare two scenarios and you'll see there will be a difference. So, similar. It was about parenting, it was about handling your children. Now you come into entering a new relationship. For example, okay, if I give a typical scenario of entering into the marital life. So you marry someone, and currently I'm not discussing whether that you know that person before marriage or not, but let's assume you're entering into a new relationship. So you have to give yourself response time to, comprehend what type of a person is that. Or, for example, apparently that person could be maybe very bossy. But with the passage of time, you will understand what type of statements and what type of examples you give to that person to convince. Even if you forget about this scenario, husband-wife relationship, if you come up to settling into different type of family setups, most of my examples currently will be in a specific Asian scenario. I'll be talking about other examples maybe in the later video or even in this one. So, if you start, entering a new setup, family setup, you have to understand different roles operating in that family. So you have to give yourself response time as well, and maybe you can educate your partner. If you can't convince all the family members, because I'm not sure what type of communication channel you can use with the family members, but at least your life partner, you can tell him or her that I'm taking time to understand things, rather than compare it with this scenario, that there are changes and there are challenges in the family that you're concerned about, and you start complaining about them. I mean, approach is different, but the scenario is same, that there are some things that are bothering you. How you react to it. One option, complain to your better half. Other option, convince him and convince yourself that I'm going to invest a particular amount of time to understand this change. And when you go by this approach, you'll see that you'll be handling things in a much better. So, the gist of this discussion about response time is, it's often said that change is the only constant. Life keeps on changing. So, whenever there's a change, we face changes on a day-to-day basis, from, changes in our daily life, changes that are permanent. So how to respond to those changes? We can be as resilient as possible if we understand that we need to invest some time thinking that, okay, this is the time I'm investing how to respond to this situation. So, I would like to conclude this discussion, and just a quick summary or a pointer what I discussed today. It was about myself as a statistician, myself as a YouTube pseudonym of Ranghri Baji, another character which is on a very different domain of humor, which are apparently humor and serious genre. They are not linked, but actually they are. There are empirical evidence that humor has a very good impact on memory. Those who have good sense of humor, they have good associative memory. But I don't want to go into the digressions. So the video was about a statistician, a video was about the human brain, this video was about handling changes, handling relationships, and handling different scenarios. So I hope you like the video, and we will keep educating our audience with more positive stuff in our later videos. So do subscribe to our channel. So this is Dr. Aisha Nazuk speaking to you. Thank you.